supposed to do. So they're going to bump into somebody sooner or later. They're going to take too much territory, or none at all. I already told you about the school board member. Okay, this is kind of one that's about paying our workers. That's basically what that principle is about. That we don't pay them peanuts, or you're going to get peanuts. It talks about rotation again here. Participation of workers. That means the workers get to vote too. Now, our office in Akron doesn't like that idea. Will not follow that principle. I don't know what they're afraid of, but we haven't gotten that one yet. Well, all right, we're at the warranties, everybody. Now, these can't be changed like the others can be adapted. You need 3/5 of all the registered groups to change these. And so let's just read it so we see what the whole big thing is, and I'll break it down. We shall observe the spirit of AA tradition, taking care that it never becomes a seat of perilous wealth or power, sufficient operating funds, prudent reserve, all of that go into this. Actually, all the warranties kind of get wrapped up in this. It's going to use the word prudence. That word prudence is a word I've paid attention to. I think I saw it in Bill Sees It, and I've seen it throughout our literature. And what does that mean when Bill uses that word? It's kind of a balance. And it usually applies to money matters, although I think it can be in behavior as well. For us, prudence is workable middle ground, a channel of clear sailing between obstacles of fear on one side and recklessness on the other. So sometimes you get a board member or somebody comes in and they're real tight with money. You can't get them to spend on anything. And you get another character comes in and he just wants to just blow the whole wad, right? Neither one of those things are prudent. So we're going to try to aim for prudence. So it just goes on to define that, so that spiritual progress can be achieved. Prudence is the ability to be cautious in making decisions. So see, it applies to that too. Prudence helps us weigh the consequences of an action or decision before they happen. And a prudent person, for example, is not driven by compulsion or hasty decisions. I heard Father Tom talk about that. When people just react too quickly or get too hasty in their decisions. So they are called the Bill of Rights, but I think all of them are. Warranty 1. The blank shall observe the spirit of AA tradition, taking care that it never becomes a seat of perilous wealth and power. Well, what that one says is, it's never going to become the seat of wealth and power because we don't contribute that much. But what it wants to warn us about is, let's not take money from outside where we could become a seat of that power. I love these. I hope you do too. That we take care that we place none of its members in a position of unqualified authority over others. So I've trained under Nell Wing. I've taken some college classes in it. I've been doing archives for a long time, and we get a new board member. And the next thing I know, he's poking me, telling me how to do my job. Yeah, I resented it. But the reason I really resented it is he's unqualified. He's going to screw up the whole deal. He hasn't even read the workbook on it. He doesn't know anything. But he thinks he's in charge of me because he's a board member. And so I realized, what if he was qualified? Bring it on. I would love to have a qualified archivist to work with. So it's really an important one. We don't often hear about it. And now it says that we should take care that we reach all important decisions by discussion, vote, and whenever possible, by substantial unanimity. Finally got to this slide. This is why I had so much trouble. This is my experience, strength, and hope on this one. When they decided to go to the groups and ask if they wanted an archives in Akron, the groups didn't know, so they split the room up. Half went here and half went there. That was a long cry from unanimity. So they half that didn't want it. There was a lot of pushback for many, 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 many years. Just because we didn't go to unanimity. We divided the group up, and this could happen in your group too. When there is a decision to be made in your group, don't rush that decision. Don't push it through because of whatever reason you've got that you're in such a hurry. because this is going to split the group. So what do we need to do? We need to talk it. We need to talk it. And we need the slide. There we go. How many times have you been in a meeting? Somebody's doing this important decision. Now, not over what stamps should we buy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a really important decisions. This is a really important warranty. I found this little picture here. It says democracy. A democracy is nothing more than mob rule where 51% of the people may take away the rights of the other 49%. Okay. That might be worth you just being here for that. What happens? We break unity that we need. Oh, they'll love this one. We should take care that our actions never be personally punitive nor an incitement to public controversy. Well, that's come up recently. If some of you might know about the manuscript, I think that little topic might have come up. And so we have to take a look at these and say, where do we fall when a situation occurs as how we're going to deal with it. The slide here is something that Bill taught us. You know, and Clarence Snyder did not like Bill, and he talked about Bill all the time, and he slandered Bill all the time. And Bill never said a word about Clarence. And I learned about that. And then this article came out on a cult in AA. It was a nasty article, the first bad press we ever got. And everybody thought we should get in there and fight that article. Bill said, we're not going to do it that way. In the service manual, as I was reviewing it, almost without exception, it can be confidently estimated that our best defense in these situations would be no defense whatever, namely, complete silence at the public level. Tom talked about that too. I think it's ego that wants to take control. Well, it's going to skip, so we'll go to this one. If their attacks persist, and it is plain that they are misinformed, it may be wise to communicate with them in a temperate and informative way, also in such a manner that they cannot use our communication as a springboard to fresh assault. They're just waiting. I call them bottom feeders. They're just down here waiting for one word, and then they'll just load up and come back at you. Okay, we shall take care that it never perform acts of government, and that like the society it serves, it will always remain democratic in thought and action. Sometimes that thought comes across my mind. I'm at a meeting, I can't remember all the concepts, but I think, are we being democratic here in thought and action? And sometimes I can catch it that way. So, here's the summary. The concepts remind us that each of us have final responsibility for AA. We respect each other's members' dignity, worth, and need to belong. We promote everyone's right to be heard and to participate in that which affects each of them. Oh, I really wanted to spin that respect thing. Therefore, we expect that our whatever will always act in a spirit of mutual respect and love, one member to another. See, I told you this is about the love in service. That we cannot meet the responsibility without delegating much of it to trusted servants. We send along the authority to match it, to maintain a system of checks and balances in our service entities to ensure that authority not outpace or lag behind responsibility, that mutual trust prevails, that action ought to be taken, nothing should be taken in anger, haste, or recklessness, that care will be observed to respect, I love that word, and preserve all minorities. No one should be allowed to be personally punitive, even though we want to. That whenever possible, important actions will be taken in substantial unanimity. That first, our whatever will ever be prudently on guard against tyrannies, great or small, whether they be found in the majority or in the minority. Oh, I love this. So where are the AA police when you need them? Right? What keeps us in check? These are just more suggestions. We had suggestions in the 12 traditions. These are just some more suggestions, but there is no AA police. what keeps us in check is that the disease of alcoholism will come back. And it can come into your group, and it can create that chaos that Tom talked about. Oh, I had to put this slide in. I know, Tom. So I was at a meeting with him shortly before he left the stage, and it was in California. And I heard him say this. And for those of you that don't know, he was a great man from the Carolinas, Tom I. And he said, and he loved service, and he said, I don't go to AA meetings anymore. And I kind of sat up, and I thought, really? He doesn't go to AA meetings? He said, I only go to AA groups. And he said, they're getting harder and harder to find. Bob, I can't thank you enough for putting the concepts on the wall. I can't thank you enough, even though I'd rather talk history till the cows come home. This third leg and our entire triangle, all three legacies, are so important, and a lot of meetings don't have them. But I hope if you're in a group, you're practicing them. And so, I have only just one more slide, two more slides maybe. This to the end, that our great blessings may never spoil us, that we shall forever live in thankful contemplation of Him who presides over us all. And I remember when Sandy Beach called me one time. He was working on something. He was doing a workshop. And he said, you know what I'm going to do this year? I've never done this before. He said, I'm buying everyone a service manual. And he said, I'm giving them a yellow marker. And I want them to go through that service manual and find out how many places they can find God. Because He's all throughout these principles. So you'll enhance your own program as you bring in all 41. And this is my closing slide from Bill. Freedom under God to grow in His likeness and image will ever be the quest of Alcoholics Anonymous. Thank you so much for letting me share these with you. Thank you. Thank you.